First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Dukden Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, the Green Tara Bodhisattva. Sumu Tutan Siti Rinpoche, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. And our VIPs today are the Council of Nantou County, Mr. Lee, from Academia Sinica, the Academician Professor Zhu Siyi and Mrs. Zhu, the former Chief Secretary of Taiwan Government, Mr. Zheng Peifu and Mrs. Zheng, and the members of Troubadour School, Scholars Group and Medical Group, the General Manager of the Jingyi Enterprise, Mr. Wu, and the wood sculptor, Mr. Jian, and from Hong Kong, the lawyers from the Chengjing chapter of Hong Kong, 5 of them. And from the China Taisan Kangqiao Hot Spring Resort Center, the President Mr. Yan and the General Manager Mr. Liu. Xindemei Biotech Company, Mr. Zai.
My university same classmate 朱金水先生及夫人陈泽祥女士。
Mr. Zhu Jingsui and Mrs. the President of Worldwide Lotus Light Charity Society and the producers for Great Perfection Dharma, Lamdre and Sutra Perfect Enlightenment, Master Lin Yu, and the host, Dharma Sister Peichu.
My sister, Lu Shengmei 女士
Miss Liu Shengmei.
My sister, Lu Guoyin 女士 and husband.
Miss Liu Guoyin.
感谢香港
And thank you to the Sanseng Wine Company or Factory of Hong Kong for their donation of 100,000 NT dollars. and producers for the CTI TV Taiwan for the program Illuminating Your Heart, Dharma Sister Rebecca Shiachi.
大家午安，大家好。
Good afternoon, everyone. How do you do?
台湾大家好，你好，大家好。萨瓦迪卡，감사합니다。こんにちは。Good afternoon。Selamat siang, selamat petang. Miss beaucoup. Hola, amigo. Te quiero mucho. 少几多一几。今天我们是做力度多罗菩萨的活动。
Today we had the Homa Fire offering ceremony of Green Tara Bodhisattva. And a few days ago, Green Tara descended.
然后我把力度下降的经过写在这个。
So I wrote in my new book about that event and experience. The first statement that Green Tara told me. Okay, can you guess? Okay, the first thing that Green Tara told me. Please don't be surprised. I truly, really love you. Of course, my answer is the same with my answer to everyone. And so I replied to her, me too. We have so many girls and ladies that would tell me, Grandmaster, I love you, and I replied, me too. So Green Tara chatted with me about love. Why? So I thought of that Tara Bodhisattvas were the two teardrops of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. One drop of tear became Green Tara, and the other drop of tear became White Tara. And Green Tara was emanated from Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. So her compassion is the same as Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Many people, many practitioners perform Green Tara Dharma practice as their Yidam practice. I remember in Taiwan there's this Nona spiritual center, and they only have 2 yidams. Not like through Buddha school, we have 8 yidams or 8 primary deities. For the men there, they practice Padmasambhava, and for the women, they all practice Grintara. So no other choices. If you're a man, then you practice Guru Padmasambhava. If you're a woman, you practice Grintara. So Grintara is extremely compassionate, like a kind mother. And yet she's also 16, a 16-year-old girl. In Tibet, all the female Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are always 16, not 17, not 15, they are always 16. Perhaps in Tibet or India, 16 is considered to be the most beautiful period. And Grintara is extremely beautiful. And she talked about love with me. Oh no. She said, Grandmaster Lu, you vowed never to forsake one single sentient being. That is the true love. That is true love. So all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and all the deities love you. So you never forsake any single being. And then she started to test me. If there's a man wearing ragged rags and they're all sores around on the skin is and he has really bad breath. As we all know, I'm not afraid of heavens or earth or human beings. The only thing I'm afraid of is bad breath. I wouldn't be able to stand it if they talk next to me in my ears for 10 minutes. So Grintara asked me if there is such a person talking to you for 2 hours right next to your ears, what would you do? So I'd like to ask all of you, all the masters and disciples, if there is someone with a real bad breath talking right next to you for 2 hours, what would you do? Master Linzi thought fainted. The odor is really bad. It was really foul. So I couldn't say anything. I couldn't answer because that's what I'm afraid. I'm afraid most. Every time I provide spiritual consultation in Seattle, almost every afternoon after lunch, for about 1 to 1.5 hours, providing consultation to people. If someone with bad breath comes, oh no, my consultation room is not that big, but all around, up and down, is filled with that bad odor. Even after he left, the odor, the foul odor, was still there. So I couldn't imagine when Grintara asked me if he's talking for 2 hours next to me. And not only that, he also had the athlete's feet. And the boils all over the skin. And the clothes are dirty and ragged. So it's like clothes that you have not washed for weeks. Lamdre said that he would faint. What else? What would you do? Just wearing my mask. Then that would be offending him. Because if you wear a mask, that's if you look down on him. But fainting is not a good idea because that person may give you a resuscitation, the OPC, mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. I really feel the so-called love for people is that you have to learn from Mother Teresa of India. So I thought, Grintara also knows Mother Teresa. What would Mother Teresa say? She treated every single being as God. So the person with dirty clothes and with boils all over his body and athlete's feet and bad breath and really foul odor, you should treat him as the Buddha. Then that would be a true love. If you cannot forsake every single being, you want to treat them as a Buddha and not to miss any single one of them. This is what Grintara taught me. And she also taught me, do you know what is the scariest thing? I said, maybe signs of death. Maybe death. When the woman is cursing to the man, they will say, "You dead." And what is the foulest is when someone has died and the rotten water that came out from the corpse. So the liquid that's excreted from a rotten corpse, that would be the foulest water on earth. And Grintara told me, do you dare to smell such water, saying that you love sentient beings?
我也回答不出来。
I cannot say
利
anything.
度母讲有一个人敢，
And Grintara
那
said,
就是台
there
湾的
is
华
one
裔
person
杨日松先生。
that dares to do that.
杨日松先生，
Oh, there's the law,
他那个
Mr. Yang,
法医是要去验尸的，专
Yang
门在验尸。
Le Song.
有些是尸体已经死了很久了，好像在深
It's
山
like doing a forensic, like a forensic doctor.
在
Forensic doctor that do
在森林里面，
autopsies on
在
corpses.
死了好几天，那
Like
个尸
if
水
there's a human being that had died for a long time in the woods or somewhere,
杨日松
and if they want to find out how they died,
尸体的水
is a forensic
用自己的舌
doctor
头去舔
that would
去舔，
taste that water that came out from that rotten corpse.
凭他本身的经验就知道，这个
And
人是
based
什么
on his experience, he would know how the person had died.
他说这个才是爱。
And Grintara said, only this is love.
这个才是爱，就力度你考我，我这两条我都答不出来。
So Grintara tested me,
那个尸体
and I couldn't say
的水，
anything
你敢
with
用
these
指头
two
去沾，
questions.
然后在自己舌头上
Do you
舔
dare to
闻到味道啊，很多的这个警察啊，
to
或者是
dip
跟
your finger into that rotten
去的人，
water
每
and
一个
then
人
taste
全
it?
部都在当场就吐了，闻到那
You
种
know,
味道，当
like
场就
the
吐。
police officers and the other officers that are accompanying this legal or forensic medical expert, they all
的
vomit.
东西全部都吐光了，那种味道。
It's such a smell, such an odor. And yet this Mr. Yang dared to dip his finger in the water and tasted it. That eventually he suffered from a kind of illness that gave him marks on his skins from the corpses. And Grintara said only that was real love. So I know this Mr. Yang Le Song, upon his death, had gone to Japan as a city god. And Mother Teresa had been sanctified as a saint. And Grintara said, only this is great love. Don't think because I'm very beautiful and then you said me too. But if I have a protruding teeth and cross eyes and not protruding but caved nose, and you could tell that I have some eye problems, would you still love me? So Hui-Jin, if there's a man that looks like that, would you love him? I will take picture with him, but that's nothing interesting. So Grintara told me, you have to treat him as a Buddha or Bodhisattva, and you need to take care of them with great care. Only this is a true great love. So Green Tara is truly like that. So her compassion is boundless. And Green Tara made 3 vows. The first vow, she vowed to manifest in a female form and provide salvation to all sentient beings, and anyone that's suffering and cry out to her will find her protection, and she can subdue even demons. So she used a female form to salvage sentient beings, and second, can provide protection to all sufferings and calamities, and also to subdue all demonic obstructions or calamities. And third, she would bear the responsibility of the great hard effort to provide salvation to sentient beings, Green Tara and White Tara, sharing to bear the burdens of salvation sentient beings. In the past, there are 3 centers of the witch XX. One is Folin, the other is Lianseng, and then the Sanchong spiritual centers. So these are the 3 centers that XX had. And Grandmaster had visited them all and reconsecrated the altars there and give blessings. But frankly speaking, these 3 centers that were frequently visited by the witch, the evil witch, the ghost witch that would be completely purified after Grandmaster's visit and purification. Because they have been purified and consecrated by Grandmaster. So please don't say anymore that they were related to the evil witch. You know, even the people who were following her before and now they come back, we should accept them all. And the second point, those with demonic obstructions, we should be more compassionate to help them. And third, even the ghost witch herself, if she repents and she's willing to come back, Grandmaster will accept her nonetheless. It's very simple. Because you have made the vow to salvage every single being, and you treat every single being as a Buddha, so you need to correct their weaknesses and tell them to correct their mistakes. As long as they can repent truthfully, then we will accept them back. So we can go to Folin chapter for the group practice or Lian Seng chapter, or even more so the San Chong chapter. You should not have any discrimination against them. Only this is what Grintara said. This would be true love. If you have any discrimination, then there will not be any love. Then that's not love. So we should not let these 3 chapters shrink. We should go there and support these centers so that they become bigger and stronger and save or help more sentient beings. Anyone who repents is fine, doesn't matter how they were, whether they created great sin and transgression, as long as they have true repentance, then we should accept them. And Green Tara's mudra is the same as Golden Mother's, and the 6th syllable is Tang, Tang mantra. The mantra of Green Tara. Tara, Dudara. Some people ask, is it like this or that? Or between the two? Which one?
那么上面印的是这个利度母的心咒是 Om 达拉嘟达拉嘟拉索哈。
What's printed here
它是印的是 Om 达拉嘟达拉嘟拉索哈。
The writings is Dala, Dudala.
我们念 Om 达拉嘟达拉嘟拉索哈。
But we should chant Om Tara, Dudara, Dura, Soha. So the pronunciation of mantras may be difficult, but if you just follow the way Grandmaster pronounced it, then you would have the power of blessings. And as we all know, her appearance is all green, very beautifully ornamented with the 5 small Buddha crowns. And Green Tara's origin is Amoghasiddhi Buddha. And she's very elegant and graceful, with beautiful celestial garments, with beautiful ornamentations, and with the moonlight behind, extremely exquisitely beautiful. It's impossible to describe. And the right hand is in the form of wish fulfilling mudra, and while holding a lotus blossom. And on top of the lotus throne, she sits in a free position or relaxed position. So very, just a single lotus, and then the other leg on a lotus. So which means that she's ready to save sentient being anytime. And the wish fulfilling mudra is holding a lotus blossom, and that means that she's giving lotus to everybody, to all sentient beings. And the other hand, the left hand, is holding 3 lotus blossoms. One is fully blossom or open, and the other one half open, and the third one is in a bud or closed lotus blossom. And the 3 lotus blossoms represent
是过去的过去，
the past,
一斗是现在，
the
一斗
present,
是未来。
and the future.
但是莲花的中心一样有一个大日，它的总
And at the center of each lotus, there is a tang sit syllable. So when you visualize the lotus blossom, there's the tang syllable, and these tangs unite and then enter through the top of your crown into the central channels to your heart,
它进到你的心中，
where there's a lotus blossom and inside your heart,
这样子比较容易
and there's
相
a
应
tang sit syllable, and then she enters into
你
the
要想
tang.
那个淡日
Then it will be easier to gain spiritual
想
union.
在莲花上面，
My guru taught me to visualize tang on top of the lotus
进到你的身体里面，
and then visualize it to transform into light entering into your body, and your own lotus opens and there's also a tang there,
这个力度
and then you invoke green Tara to enter into your heart
心中莲花
and to sit on top of the lotus inside your heart.
相应，
And in this way, it will be easier for you to gain spiritual union.
师父教我，
This was taught by my guru in the
有
past.
咒语，有手印，
So with the mantras, mudras, and visualization, then you can practice the Green Tara Dharma practice, or sadhana, the Green Tara sadhana. So Green Tara talked to me quite a bit about love that I will not,
我们再谈一下
I cannot finish it in one sitting. But now let's talk about Lamdre.
看见的这个
Now
见
we'll
日，
talk about realization or
见
seeing.
日的有身力、身心二力跟心力。
So there are 3 kinds. One is benefit for the body, for both body and mind, and benefit for the mind. And the benefit for the body, one is the equivalent fruit, the fruit of unique maturity, and the fruit of nobleman function, and the immaculate fruit. And the benefit for both body and mind, navel chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, crown chakra. And benefit for the mind, also navel chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, and crown
有
chakra.
人问我，
In the past, I was talking about the
在
moment.
修道果的时候，
Someone asked me why
7个
in
刹
practicing
7个刹
Lamde there are 7
请问
moments.
师尊，什么叫做刹那？
So
一
what
刹
is
那
this
二刹那
moment?
三刹那
One
一直到
moment,
7
2
刹那
moments, second moment, third moment, until the
这下子
7th
我
moment.
差点被考倒，
I was
因为
almost
刹那
failing the
是代
test
表时间，
because
对不
moment
对？我们
represents
讲一刹
time,
那就是一下子，一弹指就是
like with
一刹
the
那。
snap of a finger.
那
That's
这个
a
刹那
moment.
7个刹那，
And what is
各
the
地
7
方面
moments
智慧相系，
in the
7地方面
continuum
相
of
系之
pure
故
methods
行
and
善
wisdom?
刹那，对不对？然后
On the
清净智慧
continuum
相
of
系
methods and
故
wisdom,
行
it
善刹
needs
那
3 moments
各
to
个清
purify
净须
the
一刹
continuum of
那
the pure wisdom. Each requires 1 moment to purify for a
请
total
问
of 7
7刹
moments.
那是什么？
So I would like to ask, what are the 7
人家
moments?
问我，
Someone asked me.
我问所有的上师，
Now I like to ask all the Dhamma masters.
啊，米翁先生，
Nihon Sensei,
米翁先生，こんにちは。
konnichiwa.
北海道，啊，因为一直是北海道，哦，好，旁边有人给他解释吗？
Is someone explaining it to him?
没有，那就不要问。
Then there's no need to ask.
还有谁？莲子上师在吗？啊，什么叫做7刹那？
I said, 莲子, what are the 7 moments?
7种接受，他讲就应该是7
And
种
he
接受。
said it should be the 7 kinds of spiritual experiences
好，请坐，谢谢。
that were generated quickly.
还有人吗？你们谁知道的，请举手。
Anyone that knows, please raise your hand.
7次的意思。
7 times.
我也知道。
No, of course I know
我
that
告诉
too.
你，
Let me tell you.
华而本然的放光7度。
So the natural, the suchness emission of light 7 times. Because when you place the light drops at the crown chakra, naturally it would emit light naturally 7 times.
放光7度。
So emitting light 7 times.
但是上个礼拜没讲。
I of course know this, but I didn't talk about it last week, so someone asked me. You know, the light emission is also just for a moment, right? Like if you have a camera with a flash. So just that light, illumination or light emission. So that's the light emission 7 times that occurred naturally and in the suchness state, in a state of suchness.
所以他这个根本就是这个道果，这个翻译的人哦，应该讲起来应该是抓来打屁股。
You know, the translator for this Chinese Lamdre should have his buts.
听说翻译的人还在台北，这样子。
But the translator still lives in Taipei.
修其道所出结受是诸法，即竞争如。下故世喜之见，其为等流简白法。
The sensations experienced in this practice and in suchness, the vision to solidify the 4 bliss are referred as the fruit of sameness, to rid of the white hair, and the maturity to add strength, the functional to improve looks, and the immaculate to accomplish non-death. So I will explain. And for the benefit for the body, the 4 solidifying bliss are generated due to the interest in benefit, which are classified into 3 types. And now we are talking about the equivalent fruit. When the pure ambrosia is robust at the navel, this area at the size of a palm around the navel chakra will look like a mirror or a clay plate or bowl. It cannot withstand the touch of a finger, and it is utterly white and shiny. If it is like this, then it can make white hair and wrinkles disappear and the skin youthful. So if you reach such a realm, then your skin will not age. No signs of aging on your skin. Most elderly people, like Grandmaster at 75, then I would have signs of old age. But my skin is still shiny.
我不能露这个脐轮给你们看。
Of course, I cannot show you my navel. Otherwise, I would be performing belly dancing.
对不对？但是你这个脐轮旁边的皮肤
But the skin around the navel chakra is also very fair, pure. So such signs will appear. And if it's around your navel is shiny, then it can eradicate your white hair and wrinkles. Your white hair would become dark, and then the wrinkles on your face will disappear. So these kinds of signs will appear. So this is the equivalent fruit, the signs of fruition in this state. So when you reach such a realm, then your skin would be the same as a youthful skin. Your face, your skin. I cannot say your behind, because your behind is always youthful and white and fair. Maybe when I'm old, I would take the skin from my behind and then put it on my face. There would be plastic surgery, right? So you would still look youthful. You would still have dark hair. Like Simu, she's 70, 71, according to the Taiwanese age. She's 71. And she still doesn't have white hair. And her hair is real. Don't think that she's wearing a wig. And then if you pull on her hair, that she would it would hurt. So she still has real hair with no white hair. That's how she is. And do I have silver hair? Because I would shave it as soon as it grows. I don't know if my hair is white or not. But someone got some hair sarira from Grandmaster. And I don't have much hair nowadays, so and someone asked for my hair, so I just cut. It's okay as long as there's hair on my body, right? Any hair is fine. So Grandmaster still doesn't have wrinkles or sagging. So that's what the equivalent fruit is. And then what is the fruit of unique maturity? The one who has gained power through the fruit of unique maturity has his ambrosia strengthened at the heart area, and like being the son of heaven, he has unparalleled power. So not like an aged person that you have no more power, but Grandmaster has a very strong power, especially in the hands, stronger than the legs. This chair here is not so high. If it's a little bit higher, I can lift myself using my arms for a very long time. And I can be in the 90-degree position So in the double bar, I can hold myself in 90 degrees for a long time, which is like lifting my legs so that it's 90 degrees to my body. Let me try it, but this is slow and wide because the cushion is rather thick. But like a regular chair, it would be easy for me to show you.那个椅子不好弄，太宽了。
我可以把自己的身体撑起来，撑起来。
I can lift my whole body
支撑着90度。
And then hold my legs 90 degrees to the body for a long time.
我在做这个好像是说大哈斗身的时候，身体的大哈斗身。
When I perform the great shake of the body, the whole body, I could drop myself. When you let go, and then you lift again and let go and lift and let go many times. And until eventually, without using your arms, you would be able to fly in the air.
他们藏人在练这个，好像是说运动的时候是这样子练的。
When the Tibetans do this exercise, that's how they do it. Or if you want to master the alchemy of like floating in the air, that you could stay in the air for a few seconds before you fall back down. Because by breathing in the air, you would become like a balloon. If you can practice until your body is very pure, like a balloon, then you would be able to be suspended in the air and then float in the air. This is something that can happen to them after a long practice. So there would be an unparalleled power. So even after Grandmaster giving blessings for over an hour, Grandmaster can still perform the Vajra's pole exercise. I can do it with one hand, one arm. I can still do that. So that's the fruit of so the fruit of equivalence, the fruit of unique maturity, and the fruit of the function of the nobleman. The one who has the look of enhanced fruit of the nobleman function has his ambrosia strengthened at the throat area. His tongue can reach the brow point. The two shoulders are high and round. He is thirsty for drinks. His body is really warm. His desire is aroused. And he's sucking or swallowing his saliva. And he's not weak even when he doesn't eat for days. Some people feel really weak when they don't eat for a few days. And their face would look very frail. But if you practice until you reach the state, that's the fruit of the function of nobleman. So your tongue can reach the brow point. That's like Sakyamuni Buddha. That's one of the mark of Sakyamuni Buddha. When he extended his tongue, he would cover his whole face. Nowadays, it's extremely rare to see anyone that can use his tongue to touch the tip of the nose. Even that already incredible, but moreover to touch the brow point. And the two shoulders are tall, high, and rounded. He's thirsty for drinks, and the body is really warm. Even in the winter, his hands are still warm. His whole body is warm. So suck on the milk of the little tongue. What is that? When the saliva flows to the tip of your tongue, let me tell you. So that's called the small tongue, the milk of the small tongue. So stick your tongue. Let me see. Do you know? So you roll the sides of the tongue and you stick it out. So it's like creating a groove. Like this. So that means you can form the groove with your tongue, and then you can swallow the saliva that you catch using this groove you make with your tongue and enter your body. Although when he doesn't eat for days, he's not weak. One time, I only drank the sports drink for 3, 4, 5 days. That's all I drank, and I did not eat anything at all, because the doctor told me to stop eating to give a break to my intestines, to my digestive systems, because I kept having diarrhea, and the doctor taught me to stop eating for 3 days or a few days and just drink the sports drink. Once in Seattle, once in Taiwan, for several days, I didn't eat anything. I just sat there and see people eat. Last year at the Yellow Emperor Temple, before that I didn't eat for a few days. Even when I stopped eating, my face did not look big or frail. So there's this kind of phenomena. So he's not weak even when he doesn't eat for days, because you have this heavenly water to drink, and also I drank the sports drink. Also during the ceremony in Hong Kong, I could not eat anything, and that just happened naturally. It was not my intention. All I could drink was the watermelon juice for about 3 to 4 days. And all the same, I conducted the ceremony and went up to the Dharma
这边
throne
显现很多的奇迹啊。
and also created lots of miracles for that ceremony. And the fourth one is the immaculate fruit. The one who has attained no death due to the immaculate fruit has his bodhicitta strengthened at the crown chakra. He can live to be 200 years old. So if you are able to solidify the bodhicitta at the crown chakra, you can live to be 200 years old. It means you can extend your own lifespan. It doesn't mean that you don't die though, because you have practiced until you can place the bodhicitta at your crown, that the light drops can ascend to the crown area. So at this time, your lifespan will extend. It doesn't mean that you will not die, because as a human being, you will eventually die. There is no single being that doesn't die. Even Guru Padmasambhava, who has lived to be 800 years old, or Pengzu of China, had lived to be also over 800 years old. Pengzu was very lived a long life, and his parents, his wives, his children, his grandchildren, they all have died, and grandchildren, they all have died, and yet he was still alive. And maybe his life would be meaningless unless he married so many wives. He lived to be 800, so how many wives could he have? That's what I admire about him. Grandmaster has no ailments. Grandmaster has no weaknesses except one. We all know, there's no need to spell it out, but please forgive me. Because Grandmaster has not cleared this one weakness. But as Buddhists, really, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas told me, as long as you have aspiration to go to the Pure Land, to become a Buddha, your wish, and if you're diligent at it, like diligent in your Dharma practice, and third, if you have gained spiritual union or yogic union with your yidam, and you're always with yidam, then that would be called grace. So, in order to have attainments or to reach Buddhahood, is first you want it, the aspiration. Second is your diligence and steadfastness. And third, and you have to have the blessings and the favor, the grace, the Dharma power by the yidam upon you in order to succeed at it. There was a car driving toward me, and I didn't see a driver inside the car. So I was quite worried about it. So I opened the door and jumped in, and then brake. Put on my foot on the pedal on the brake, and then there were two people behind the car that scolded me. Didn't you see that we are pushing the car? So that's why, don't misunderstand. You thought that the car moved by itself because no driver, but actually there are people pushing it. My grandpa said, that before Titanic was in an accident, I kept reminding people about it. And he reminded people around him again and again and again until finally he was taken out from the movie theater by the security guards. So Titanic, of course, will sink, but you're watching the movie and you kept saying that it will sink. So of course, you were being ushered out. So that's why, there are lots of things that are misunderstandings. As long as we clear the misunderstandings, then it's no big deal. There are 5 kinds of fads nowadays. One is the no menu, the restaurants with no set menus. We've gone to several restaurants and they said we have no menus. So the chef cooks whatever he wants. And then in the studies, there is no standard textbooks. So I'll just talk what I want and then you take notes. So in education, this is popular now. And in media, it's news without content. There's so many news that are meaningless, or the fake news, real news, all mixed up, and we don't even know whether they're real or fake. It's quite chaotic. And in politics, it's also fad about no constitution. So they just do whatever they want. Like the nuclear power plant was being changed into coal power plant so that the air quality is really bad. And that's actually a crucial point, so there's no constitution. And then the people live with no brain. So we all know that the air quality is really bad. Nobody cares. And then even if someone says something, nobody cares. Nobody would listen. I've been coming back for 10 years. Almost 10 years. And the first 8 years, I never mentioned about the air quality. And only this past 2 years, I kept talking about the air quality. And yet, someone kept saying that Taiwan is on the right path. I've been back for almost 10 years.
空气污染啊，
But the
怎么
first
样
8 years, I
活得
never
很好
talk
啊
about air quality.
这
And we
2年
live
才变
fine.
成这样子，
Only this past 2
这
years.
是无限法的这个的状态嘛？
So isn't that
走在正
the
台
sign
湾正走在正确的道路上，
of no
难道我
constitution?
们永远空
And
语
yet
不
you
言？
say that Taiwan is on the right path, so we will have this poor air quality all the time, forever? How could you say that's the right one?
期望有这个将来有这个新的领导人，
I hope that in the future we'll
能
have
够把
a new leader
空气追求
that can recuperate the air quality.
这里讲最后一个笑话好了。
Okay, let me share the last joke.
日数不同，含义就不同。我们谈一个哈好哈。哈，刚刚的力度没有。
The meaning,
哈哈呵，
like Grintara has the 5 mantra,
哈哈哈呵，
but the 7 syllable mantra would be
对不对？
ha ha ha
这个
ha
哈
ha ha
是
ha.
愉悦的意思，
So ha
就是开
means
心的意思
happy. Ha ha meaning
就是爽快
very
的意思。
glad. Ha 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 meaning really joyous.
这个啼笑的意思。
And then the last one, ha 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 ha, means mad or crazy.
啼笑，啼笑，那个就是好吧。你跟他讲说，这个事情
If you say something and he said, that means
就是
okay.
好吧。就是卖崩，卖崩。
It's no, if you
三声呢，就是胸口，胸口压力，就胸口。
meaning pressures on the chest.
这是便秘。
The last one is constipation.
这我们有一句话就是嘿，嘿，嘿，
And then
就打招呼的意思啊。
for the word hey,
嘿，
if it's only
打招呼
once,
的是嘿嘿，就是奸笑，
it's like when you're
奸笑，
greeting and then hey
嘿
hey,
嘿嘿，
huh?
就是我已经
It's like
得逞
smoking.
了，
And hey 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 is like
嘿嘿嘿，
you've got it or you've won it.
就是
And then hey
碰
hey.
到一个色狼，
It's like when you meet a
这
womanizer.
个一个哭的声音呢，就呜呜。
And ku is the sound of crying.
这是撒娇，一个字，他讲是撒娇。
If it's one word, ku is like
流泪难过。就是靠腰。
is feeling upset, and then is cursing.
这个就是有阿飘。
And then is like a ghost floating.
阿飘来了，阿飘来了。
The ghost is here, the ghost is here. Oh, Mani Beni, huh?